In this tutorial, you will learn to use the Databank's Form Builder tool to edit a donation form. The Form Builder can also be used to edit other types of forms or create new forms from scratch. This tool is available to Databank Premium users. To create or edit a form, you need to be logged into your Databank. To access the Form tool, choose Setup in the header and select Form Builder. On the Forms page, you'll see a list of existing forms. Active forms are listed at the top of the page, and if you have any forms that are turned off, they'll be at the bottom of the list under Expired. For the purposes of this training, we will clone and edit an existing donation form. Donation forms are very similar to other types of forms, but have an additional contribution setup page, so the information learned in this example will be applicable to other forms. If you need help working on a particular form, please send a support request via your Databank's Help menu. To edit an existing form, click the Edit icon for your form. When you want to make a brand new form, you will click the green plus sign icon in the upper right-hand corner of the page. For a brand new form, you'll be taken to the New Form page. Choose the type of form you'd like to create from the drop-down list. Give your form a form ID. The name should be 15 characters or less with no spaces. Your form name must be unique. Give your form a title. Don't worry, you'll be able to change this title later if needed. Finally, click the Create New Form button. To clone an existing form, choose the form to be duplicated by clicking the Edit icon next to the existing form. You will be taken to the Form's Properties page. On this page, click the Duplicate button. Give your cloned form a unique form ID. When finished, click Submit. You will be taken to the new Form's Properties page. This is also the initial page you'll be taken to if you choose to edit an existing form. If needed, on this page, you can edit your form's title. You can also choose or change the HTML and email templates that your form uses. These templates determine what will appear around your form or email content. If you are not sure which template to use, you can try out different ones or see which template your other forms are using. Host URL is for use with iframed forms. If you will be using an iframe with this form, you'll need to set up a web page on your website to hold the iframe. Enter the address of that web page here. In the source code box, type the text that you'd enter into a member's source field when they fill out this form. Choose a default state if most of the people filling out this form will be from one state. The Form Expires On and Form Expired Message options can be used to turn your form off at a certain date and time. To add a badge showing that your form is secure, check the Show SSL seal box and enter the text that you'd like to show with the badge. By default, your form will show a summary of any data entered on previous pages to your constituent. You can hide this information on the form itself or on the Thank You page by checking the appropriate box. You can enter text in the comments box if you'd like. Keep in mind that this text does not show up anywhere on your form. When finished, click the Submit button to save. Next, we'll click the Contribution tab to set up our contribution options. You will not see this tab if you are working on another kind of form. On the Contribution tab, you will be able to enter introductory text, set up contribution or payment ask options, and choose payment types. To begin, enter or edit the text you'd like to see at the top of your contribution form. You can add HTML to the text as needed. When you are finished, click Submit. To set up contribution or payment options, you must associate a fundraising campaign with your form. If you have not set up a campaign to use with this form, do it now by going to your Fundraising tab and selecting Campaigns. You must add at least one segment for use in your form, in addition to setting up the overall campaign structure. In the Campaign and Key Code Form Setup section, choose the campaign you'd like to use from the drop-down list. Then click Submit. Now, edit each of your existing contribution options by clicking the Edit link for each one. On the Edit Choice page, you should choose the appropriate key code, add a caption, enter the amount per payment, and choose whether it is a one-time payment, an open-ended recurring payment, or a fixed interval payment. Depending on which option you choose, you'll be presented with additional options to edit. You can also choose an input type for each contribution option. It is best to use no more than 2 input types per contribution form. Radio and text other amount are the most common choices. When you are finished editing the contribution option, click Submit to save your work. You can edit each existing contribution option and add or delete options as needed. If you need to rearrange your contribution options, click and hold the arrows icon in the Reorder column and drag each option to the correct spot. Be sure to click Submit to save your work before leaving this page. In the Payment Options section, choose which payment methods you will accept on this form. Keep in mind that your payment processor may not allow you to use all of these methods. Please send a support request if you have any questions about setting up your payment options. If you'd like to require the CVV code from the back of the credit card be entered, check the CVV2 card code checkbox. If you do not want the form to default the cardholder's name to the member name, check the Do Not Default the Cardholder Name to the Member Name box. This is especially useful if you are setting up a form where administrative staff might be registering others for an event. Your organization may make use of the contribution type fields. Choose the correct choice from the contribution type drop-down, or you may leave this field blank. You can enter additional text for various parts of the form if needed, such as an intro for the card payment page or a note above the Submit button. It's best to experiment with these options and see how they look on your live form. Rarely, you might need to fill in an additional option such as shipping and handling. Do that in the Additional Options section. Click Submit to save your work. This is a good time to take a look at your form so far. At the top of the page, click the View tab to open the draft of your form in another window or tab. Next, click the Personal tab to edit the personal information section of the form. You can include introductory text if you would like by typing the text into the Section Intro HTML editor. By default, the standard contact info options are included in the Personal section on Form area. If you do not want to collect any of the standard information, you can click the Remove icon for that option to remove it. If you'd like to add any additional fields, select them in the Click to add any of these fields to the Personal section area. Once you've got the fields you'd like to collect in the Personal section on Form area, you can click and drag the double-headed arrow to reorganize them as needed. Check the Require box if you'd like a field to be a required field on the form. Edit the caption for a field if you need to provide additional text to explain a prompt. If you'd like to allow people to subscribe to any of your organization's publications, check the Include Subscriptions box in the Subscription Setup section of the page. Enter introductory text as appropriate and choose which publications you would like to make available on this form. Please only use the auto-subscribe option on forms where it is obvious that you're subscribing people to something. For instance, if you've mentioned a free newsletter with donation in your introductory text. If you'd like to include soft credits on your form, choose the appropriate options and click Submit to save. If you have any questions about setting up the personal page for your form, please send a support request. If you'd like, click the View tab to check your work. Click the Thanks tab to create or edit the thank you page text. This is the last page your constituent will see, so it is a good idea to reassure them that their form has been submitted successfully with a short thank you and provide them with a link for further engagement. Click Submit to save your work. Click the Email tab to create or edit the thank you email that will be sent when the form is completed. Enter the email from name and address. Be sure to follow the required format. If you'd like your email CC'd to someone, enter their email address in the CC confirmation box. If you'd like someone to get notice when this form is filled out, enter their email address in the BCC confirmation box. If you are not requiring an email address on the personal page, but still want to receive a notice that this form has been filled out, check the Send CC/BCC box. Enter a subject line for your email. Enter the text of your email message into the HTML editor box. Finally, click Submit to save your work. If you're collecting mobile phone and mobile phone provider information on the personal page of this form, enter the text you'd like to send in a text message confirmation in the text message section of this page. When finished, click Submit to save your work. Click the Contact tab to enter or edit the contact note that will be written to the member's record when this form is filled out. Click the View tab to test your form. You should feel free to test your form several times as you build or edit it. Be sure to delete any test records and/or contributions that were created during this testing. If you'd like to test a form that has credit cards as the payment method, use the Test Visa account with an account number of a 4 and then 15 ones, and an expiration date that is in the future. When you are happy with the design of your form, close all open versions of it, and click View one last time. Copy the URL from the address toolbar. This is the address you will use to link your form to your website or in any other place where you plan to publicize your form.